Welcome to today's transmission on fear. Now I'm going to do my best to really simplify what could be a really big topic that we could talk about for hours. But what I want to do is give you some insights and tools and tips on how you can not only move beyond the need for fear to hold you back in your life, but tap into the energy that fear brings up for us and to be able to use that fear to propel you forward in life. You know, it's said that on the other side of fear is everything that you ever wanted in your life. And I know this to be true as a fact in my life. And I've also seen that in countless people that I've worked with, how they've transformed their lives simply by overcoming their fears. Let's have a little look though at what fear is. You know, there's two really powerful acronyms that I'm very familiar with around fear. You might know these ones too. The first is false expectations appearing real is the first acronym for fear that I'm really familiar with. And the other one is face everything and rise. So the first one, false expectations appearing real. You know, that's where most people sit with fear. They have these expectations of the future that are all in their head, that they're imagining things that are going to happen for the worst. And this is not always a conscious thought. This can also be in our subconscious mind and in our belief systems. And so we're going about our lives thinking we're doing really fantastic, but have you noticed at times you just can't seem to get beyond a certain level? Let's say in your health and fitness, in your finances, in your relationships, in intimacy, in the fun and adventure areas of your life. You seem to get to a level and then nothing. That's because something is holding you back. And what's holding you back is fear. Remember I said that everything you want is on the other side of fear? That's what's holding you back. And it's not until we notice those fears and do something that I'm going to share with you soon that we can do with them, that you're going to get beyond that threshold of where you're just treading water in life instead of thriving and growing and expanding in all areas and in all ways. So that's what I'm going to share with you in a moment. But the most important part I wanted to share with you about fear is it really does come from our head. It's all in our mind. We're imagining things for the worst before they even happen. You know, back in prehistoric times, fear was really important because it would give us the energy to be able to fight, run, or hide so that we didn't die. You know, there were saber-toothed tigers, there were dinosaurs, there were other tribes trying to kill us. So out of necessity, we had this inbuilt mechanism, and fear would stimulate what's called the stress response, which would fuel us with energy so that we could act quicker and do things to stay alive. But you know what? We don't have saber-toothed tigers that are chasing us anymore. And so most of our fears now are either circumstantial or environmental, or simply fear of the future. And when I say fear of the future, we're imagining things for the worst, as I said, before they even happen. The good news about that is, if we understand that our fears are completely imagined and that right now in this moment, we're not in danger, we're not going to die, we are okay if we can really just be more present to the truth of the moment, then this imaginary future that we're concerned about or worried about or anxious about just disappears. And so that frees our energy up, that frees our mind up, that frees our emotions up. And now from a calm state of everything is okay now, we can make decisions then to find solutions for whatever problems we might be facing. So what I'm going to do now though is share with you a really simple way that you can reframe the way you look at fear so that you can get more of what you want in your life and to be able to tap into that energy that fear brings up for us and be able to use that constructively and productively so that you get more of what you want. This has to do with the second acronym that I shared with you, which is face everything and rise. And this has worked really well in my life and also with those people that I teach and have shared it with too. When we turn and face our fears and we look them in the eye and we walk towards them, guess what happens? The closer we get to them, the more they start to disappear. And I want you to try this in your own life. Instead of running away from what you're afraid of, be it fear of rejection, be it fear of failure, be it fear of making mistakes, be it fear of looking stupid, be it fear of starting something new, be it fear of whatever, it doesn't matter. When you turn around and you face that fear and you start walking towards it, that fear is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, because remember what I said earlier, that our fears are imagined. And as we start to walk towards them, we start to see the lie that we've been telling ourselves about our fears. And if you think about it yourself, think about a time when you were afraid of something but you overcome it. It could have been, say, fear of heights and you went and did a parachute jump. Or you were afraid of public speaking and you went to a public speaking class. Or you were afraid of asking that girl or that guy out and yet you went over there and you did it. How did you feel after you confronted that fear and gone towards it? I bet you felt elated, ecstatic, happy, vibrating with joy. Yes, because when we walk towards our fears and we face them and we overcome them, it releases positive energy in our body and we feel awesome because we just did something that a part of us believed we couldn't do. And in that way now, we're so much stronger because now the next time we approach that same or similar circumstance, it's going to be easier. And the more times we keep doing that, the easier it gets until there is no fear there at all. And you know what? With each step you take, you will get stronger, more confident, and it will get easier to keep stepping. And you know, the biggest muscle that we can build when we're working on our fears is our courage muscle, and that's what it takes to step forward. We all have unlimited resources of courage inside us because that comes from our heart, and every time we use our courage muscle, it gets stronger and it gets easier to face our fears and move forward. So remember, if you're ready to face everything and rise, then do yourself a favor, go ahead and start stepping towards your fears today.